What did you do when your daughter said, Mommy makes me practice saying daddy touches me? It started when my ex-wife filed for emergency sole custody, claiming I was a threat to our 7-year-old daughter, Sophie. Everyone seemed to believe her, except my best friend Julie. Julie and I had been close since college. She was Sophie's godmother. She held my daughter in the hospital while I cut the cord. So when she heard about the custody filing, she rushed over. I'll testify, she said. I'll tell them what kind of dad you are. I've seen everything. Julie had proof. She'd been there through all of it, bedtime stories, school plays, doctor visits. She had texts from my ex asking her to babysit because she couldn't stand Sophie today. Voicemails where my ex called our daughter that bratty kid. She even had screenshots. For the first time since all this started, I felt hope. We're going to expose her lies, Julie told me. Sophie needs you. I believed her. Then the hearing came. Julie took a stand. I gave her a small smile from across the courtroom. She confirmed we'd been friends for 20 years. Confirmed she'd known Sophie since birth. Then my ex's lawyer asked about a sleepover Sophie had at Julie's house the month before. Yes, Julie said. Sophie stayed over. Her father was there too. And then she said something that made my blood run cold. I saw him touching Sophie inappropriately, she claimed. It was 3 a.m. I walked in and found his hands under her pajama top. The room started spinning. My lawyer grabbed my arm and whispered for me to stay calm. Julie kept going, saying I had special games with Sophie, that she'd seen bruises, that I kept explicit images of children on my phone, and that I'd threatened her to keep quiet. Every word was a lie. A perfect, smooth, rehearsed lie. My ex's lawyer looked satisfied until the prosecutor stood up. He presented bank records. 2 weeks earlier, my ex-wife had wired $50,000 to Julie for IVF treatments. Julie had sold me out to pay for another round of fertility treatments. I sat there staring at her in shock. The woman who once held my newborn daughter in her arms had destroyed me to have children of her own. The judge called a recess. I just sat in the hallway, head in my hands, thinking it was over. I was going to lose everything. That's when a woman walked over. It was Sophie's first grade teacher, Miss Robinson. I need to show you something, she said. I've been documenting Sophie's behavior for months. The court has to see this. She had drawings. Crayon pictures of a big woman hitting a smaller figure. Tearful self-portraits. Scribbled words like, Mommy is scary. She had photos of bruises dated, labeled, after my ex claimed Sophie just fell on the playground. Audio recordings of Sophie crying during pickup, begging not to go home. My lawyer took one look and knew this was our shot. He submitted it all. The judge ordered an emergency forensic interview with Sophie, away from her mother's influence. And Sophie told the truth. She said her mom twisted her arms until she screamed, yanked her by the hair, held her head underwater in the bath, and made her practice saying daddy touches me over and over, hitting her when she got it wrong. That confession opened the door to investigate Julie too. They pulled text messages between her and my ex. Just say you saw him touch her. I'll wire the $50,000 Monday. 3 months later, I was awarded full custody. My ex didn't even get supervised visits. She stood in the courtroom claiming she only wanted what was best for Sophie, while Sophie clung to my leg, finally safe. For years passed. Then one day, my phone rang. It was Julie. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. She was sobbing. My husband found the court transcripts during our divorce. The $50K, my testimony, everything. Turns out the IVF had worked. She'd had twin boys. He's filing for full custody, she cried. He says a woman who lies about child abuse can't be trusted with sons. Please. You know I'm a good mother. You know what it's like to almost lose your kids. I let her talk. And I remembered how I begged her to tell the truth years ago. How she swore she would. How she watched me break just so she could have her chance at motherhood. You were supposed to tell them the kind of father I was, I said. You promised. Please, she begged. They're only 4. They need their mom. I hung up. Later, I found out she lost custody completely. No supervised visits. No phone calls. Nothing. Her ex told the judge, a mother who would fabricate child abuse is capable of anything.